Welcome to Open with Alex, where every episode is a journey into diverse perspectives and compelling stories. I'm your host, Alex, and together we'll explore the depth of the human experience. Get ready to open up to new insights and inspirations with each guest. Let's dive in. Today, we are joined by Orlando Urdaneta, a prominent Venezuelan actor, presenter, and comedian. His career spans theater, film, and television, showcasing his versatility in talent. Orlando's critical stance against oppression led him to relocate to the United States, where he continues to captivate audiences with his charisma and humor, embodying resilience and defiance in the face of adversity. Welcome to Open with Alex. I am here today to tell you an amazing, inspirational story of determination and resilience as I welcome a lot of my guests to tell me and inspire you with their special stories of success and how they achieve to stand back up on their feet. So here I am today with Orlando Urdaneta. Hello, Orlando.
Hi, how are you?
Welcome. I want
you.
everybody to know Orlando is a good friend of mine. We worked together in the past. He is an actor. He is an artist. He is doing artwork now, and he's my special one. He's a comedian. So welcome to our podcast.
Thank you, Alex. I'm very happy to be here, very excited, and I wish you the best because everything you do with a lot of love, passion, and professionalism.
Thank you very much. And that's why I'm doing this, because I have met incredible people in my life, just like you, that have been in the top of the world and they had to get back down and they have to get back on their feet. And if anybody knows about that, it's you. And
yeah.
With your positive attitude and your humor, you've always made it back up. So I want everybody to learn about where Orlando started and how you got to the top.
Okay. Well, this is what I learned in life is to enjoy this roller coaster, to enjoy it every moment as you go down, as you go up, if you have the stomach, because at the end, and I know, but that I look very young, but I really am 70-something.
You still look very young.
I look like a young kid. So what I have learned is that the only thing that matters is to be happy and enjoy the moment. And this is what I try to do all the time. And when you enjoy the moment, when you really look at things the way they really are, because that's the only way to see them. When you are in the moment, you see the real thing. That's why actors, when you're acting, the method teaches you to be in the moment. When you are in the moment, everything is okay. Mm-hmm. The line, if it is not there, it will come eventually.
But it wasn't always like that. When you were younger, I'm sure you were always...
No.
So that's the story, the juice that I want to know.
I have no school when I began to act. So my school were all the old actors that I was around them, were doing soap operas in Caracas, Venezuela.
Telenovelas.
The telenovela. Because at the time where I began in TV, when TV was black and white.
Yeah,
honestly.
You were a protagonist, though.
Oh, yeah. And at that time, when I was beginning, all the old guys wanted to tell me how to do it.
The old guys.
Yeah, they would give me the old guys for me that were the guys that had 30 or 40 years old. But they were all for me. Okay. I was 12. So they were like, you gotta do this. You gotta do that. You better. So each one had a technique. So I almost did a salad of all the techniques they gave me. And when I went to Lee Strasberg, I was 40. So I have done soap operas, I have done theater, radio, movies. So when I got there, what I discovered, which was good for me, is that everything that I had accomplished for, what do you say, rehearsal and mistake, there was being taught there. And what took me more than 15 years, I could have learned there in 1 year and a half. But it's okay, I was there.
And why did you think because I know you were a leading actor and you got your own shows.
Yes.
What did you think was the number one reason that helped you climb to the top? Because you didn't start.
No, not at all.
Right? You were not famous. So what brings you, what evolves in your career?
Well, because you never think I'm climbing to the top. No. What it happens is that when you discover that you are climbing to the top, you discover that it is because you are having fun.
Yes.
A lot of fun. So that was the thing.
Yes.
They always, I listen to actors in their podcasts or shows that they say, no, you have to struggle on the feelings.
Disagree.
That's not true. That's not true. I mean, there is a struggle.
Well, you have to work for it.
The exercise that I showed you earlier, that's an exercise where you get into the struggle. But you get into the struggle to
massage it.
Yeah, to call it.
So what he's talking about, we were sitting in the green room, and he did a relaxation technique for me to calm down before the podcast. And we did some breathing, and we got in a zone where we were really aware of this moment and facing, like you said, all the struggles, and then let it go in order to come out here and do the interview relax.
That's it, because everything is, the beginning. I'm pretty sure that now you are feeling a lot better than this first or second minute of this moment.
I am.
Now you are okay. I can feel you. I can feel it. Yeah. You are okay. You're there. And we are pretty sure that we're going to have fun. And people, especially audience, are going to have fun.
And they can feel it.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. It gets to them.
So you climb the ladder. Obviously, people knew you were having fun.
Oh, sure.
You become a protagonist. And your life is, you're on the top of the game where you had your nightly show. What was the name of the show?
That's Titulares de Mañana was.
And you had it was a morning show.
The morning show. I have Buenos Días Venezuela. I had Orlando con Orlando. I don't know why the guy used that name for me. Mm-hmm. And I got then...
what was the last show you were doing?
Almorzando con Orlando. I was very famous because it was a lunchtime.
Oh.
And I had...
and people go to lunch in Venezuela,
oh,
too.
sure.
Yes.
They, even if they were in restaurants or things like that, cafeterias, they were watching the show there. And I had, at that time, I had 23 clients, 23 commercials, live commercials. Sponsors.
Oh, wow.
23 sponsors. And 5 in the cuts.
Was that the last show you did in Venezuela?
No.
Which one was the last show?
The last show I did there was the show that brought me here. Was Titulares de Mañana and La Hora de Orlando. My wife is there. Maybe she knows. La Hora was the last one, no?
So here's what happens. For those that don't know about Orlando, here's the downturn and the drama. There is drama. So Orlando became very outspoken about the Venezuelan government at the time. He used the medium to express how he felt about the government in Venezuela at the time. And he became so controversial that he had to make one of the hardest decisions of his life.
Well, sure, because at that time, which is in a book that I'm writing now, at that time, the militaries called me and said, okay, Orlando, we want you to help us with this because you are outspoken and we need someone to talk.
The military people called you?
Yeah.
Like a general?
The generals. I mean, the April 11th, the only civil guy in the group of 12 generals that got into the palace and arrested the dictator was me. So after that, imagine, I was not just a controversial figure. I was an enemy for him. So everything began to be really hard. And at a moment, I got news that I was going to be eliminated.
So eliminated.
Yeah, they're not going to put you in jail. They're going to kill you, they said.
Somebody told you that?
Sure.
Okay.
Two people at the same time in 2 different moments, 20 minutes, one between they two. I was in an airport where someone told me that.
Yes.
And then when I got into the plane, a friend of mine called me and said, listen, this is going to happen to you.
And you were already on the plane to leave the country.
But I was leaving for 2 days. I was coming to Miami because they have a festival and they were going to honor me in the festival.
That's why you didn't even bring your luggage. I remember you said you came with like one change of clothes.
Yeah. One suit and 2 changes. That's
and
it.
you get on the plane, they tell you they're going to kill you. You were prosecuted by the military, by the government, by
the government. They told me even how they were going to do with me. What they were going to do to me.
At that time, Hugo Chavez was the president.
The president. And he was really the big enemy. And I was really open to him. I told him everything. My relief is that I always said what I needed to say to him. There was a moment that I called him coward on camera.
But you said that on camera.
On camera, you are a coward. And you know, how do I know you're a coward? Because tomorrow, I'm going to be here doing my show because you don't have what it gets to come for me. I don't know why I did it. I don't know why I did it, and I'm alive.
It makes me nervous just to think about it. Like confronting. I mean, we lived it at that time. It was a free country, but it wasn't really. You just took advantage.
It was not a democracy. Things were very, very weird. Things were happening. They were doing very weird. And after the 11th, April 11th, that coup attempt, things got worse, and he got worse, and they were really, doing terrible things to people. So
yes. So wait. So what happens to Orlando?
Well,
I want to stay to your story. So you end up coming to Miami. Not for 2 days.
Not at all. Not at all.
Okay. So what happens next?
When I discovered I had to stay here, well, a lot of friends helped me. They put me in a hotel and they paid the hotel for me. I mean, the hotel let me be there. A friend from Venezuela was the principal owner, and they got me there like for 3 months. 1 month and a half I was alone. Then they came my wife and my 2 kids. They were, 5 and 2.
You had to bring them to the United States.
And it was really, really a hard time to bring papers,
to
get papers for them, because he said that if someone would fix the papers for one of my girls that needed a new passport, he was going to kick out the director and everybody working in that office. There was an open enemy already. And
so what happens when you get here? In terms of what happens to Orlando?
Well, Orlando needs to work. so I said, well, I'm in Miami. I am in the best city to be if you are against communists, against dictatorships.
Yeah.
And I thought this is going to give me a lot of work. And everybody's going to call me to their shows, and I may have a show.
Because you're on top of the world in South America, and you move here and become a number.
It didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
It didn't happen. Then I began to try to do things. I did theater. I got cast for some small plays. I got cast. I began to survive there.
And what kept you going?
It kept me going because I was here. I needed to. And everybody would tell me, you just, Julesy, you just keep doing it. Julesy, this is a very hard city, but after 2 or 3 years, you get what it needs to be there. And I finally I got into a radio show. But because the principal thing that would give me more money would be the soap operas. But people which were my friends could not call me to soap operas. Because if I'm in a soap opera, they cannot sell it for Venezuela.
Oh, wow.
Oh, they wouldn't buy movies. They wouldn't buy soap operas. They wouldn't buy anything with my name on it.
Oh, wow.
Of course. So they called me my market.
So you began doing theater. I remember you did some plays.
Yeah, doing theater, comedy, stand-up, whatever I could do to survive. And at that time, the hotel gave me, when I was leaving, they said, do you have furniture? I said, no, I don't. Well, why don't you come to the deposit? So all I have were the furniture from the hotel that I've been living with for 3 months. They came to my house also. So my dining room the table was two desks, one against the other. That was the dining room table. The chairs were the chair from the hotel. How do you say the sala, the
living room.
The living room furniture were sofas from the hotel, chairs from the hotel.
That's incredible.
And the table in the middle were two night tables, one against the other.
What happens to your house in Venezuela? Did you sell it?
There.
Or you lose it?
No.
You lose it in the move.
It was closed. And later, a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, took all the furnitures and took him to his storage because he has a big storage. He was in the
Did you ever get
industry. Yeah, no. He ended up sending them here, and he helped me to sell the apartment. Honestly,
oh, good.
Yeah, I have to. He will always be. I will thank him forever. And then we got a hurricane. A very strong hurricane for the first time in my life.
Which one?
I think
Katrina.
it was Katrina or something. Yeah, but very, And you know what happened? That I was in an old house, and those houses, they were not, they don't have those
shutters.
Shutters. No, the shutter was those that you attach. So a guy would lock us there, and no light, shut it, and...
you lost power.
Now power, nothing. So what I did was that for the girls, I began to bring them everything, my things to work, crayons, paintings, and we would put every paper everywhere in the walls because they were empty. And suddenly one day I was so bored that I began to paint a chair.
Oh, that's how you began the artwork.
And I painted chairs. And then a friend of mine, a journalist, she came to visit me, and she was with a guy that at that time was the principal of a very important university down in Venezuela, and he loved one chair. And he said, "But do you sell them?" I said, "No, I hadn't finished saying no. I got kicked in my leg." And I said, "Of course we are selling them."
You sell everything.
Of course we are selling them, she said. And we asked, I don't remember, I think we asked for $1,500 or $2,000 because a big one, beautiful one. And he took it. Oh. And there I began to paint chairs and chairs and chairs.
But when do you get called to, because when I met you, because I met Orlando here in the United States. We don't know each other from Venezuela.
No, not from Venezuela.
I grew up watching you on TV, and it was this big superstar. And then one day here, I get invited to a channel in Palm Beach County, and they say, you have to meet the manager of the channel.
The president.
And I said, okay. And I meet Orlando, and we became really good friends.
Yeah.
We even did a radio show together.
Yeah, we did. We had a lot of fun.
It was called Once a Week, but Every Week.
Yeah, Once a Week, but Every Week.
And it was in English.
In English. That's the first time that I dared to speak in English.
We had so much fun. We had so much fun with that. And then you left me because you went to Colorado to make a movie.
Yeah. I have left you several times.
You left me several times.
I regret that, but I have to be honest.
Here you are.
Okay. We may do something again.
You redeem yourself.
Yeah, and what we do, which is true, is that we never stop projecting and doing plans for us for the future.
That
all
is
the
true.
time.
So what is it? What inspires you to stay creative and keep that passion for your success?
Because that's where what they say that you reinvent yourself.
I hear that word.
Well, you reinvent yourself. And for that, you have to be in the moment.
Yeah.
You have to be quiet. You have to, no fear. You can't, because fear kills you. I have a lot of fear.
So what do you do?
When I discovered that I have fear,
what do you do when you have fear?
I said, no fear for me.
Because when I met you, you were doing a lot of spiritual work, and you were doing a lot of meditation.
Because like 3 years ago now, I learned how to meditate. And 5 years after that, I discovered Buddhism. And I became a Buddhist. And when
how long have you been a Buddhist? Longer?
25 years.
Okay.
No, more, 20, yeah.
Because when I met you, you were already
I was already a Buddhist because I went here in Hillsborough Beach. There was a place,
Yes.
a Buddhist center, and there was a lama.
I remember.
Because I began with a lama. He's not there anymore, but he was. Now it's a monk. He's a nun there. But when he was my lama, I'm trying to remember the name. I remember.
Do you think that getting into that journey is what kept you going at that time?
Concho Kiap Geshe-la. At that time, when I went there and I met this guy, I felt that I have found a way, a path, a light, honestly. But through him, not through the religion, through this very special guy that was...
The person.
He was someone, and he was really very nice to me because he was, I think my accent was funny for him.
Your sense of humor was probably great
I asked
with
him one day, can I become a monk like you? No. He said, but immediately.
I don't see you.
No. You are a lie. You better keep being a lay.
I don't see you as a monk.
Yeah.
No.
But I was, because I was looking for something. And there he was. And
because you had also gotten divorced at that time.
Oh, yeah. I was divorced. And what it connected me to was that I had already been at the Lee Strasberg Institute. And as you could see, the exercise you do to get prepared to work is very close to meditation.
Oh, yeah.
Very close to meditation. Because at the end, it's always the same. That's why you see now the sportsmen, boxers, people that do even violent things, they have to do this preparation before. They have to center, they have to breathe, they have to connect with their inner being in order to be able to perform whatever they perform. So that's what we're answering you when we said, what makes me keep going? It makes me keep going that I could relax, that I could center, and each time you relax and you center, you find the path. You find the path. If you fail, if you do the wrong thing, which I have done many times, it doesn't matter. Because you don't get mad, you don't get frustrated, you go back again to the center and say, well, what did I do wrong? Where did I deviate my thing? Because you know that I know what an empty room is.
Yes.
I know what an empty, theater is.
Yeah.
To get out there and you don't have 10 people to laugh at what you're going to say, well, you have to do it. You have to do it.
The show must go on.
You have to overcome. And I had a very successful monologue, Divorciarme Yo. And
I remember you invited me to that one time in Weston. Divorciarme Yo, it's a little bit of a personal story about how many divorces you have on you?
Now I have 4.
You have 4 divorces, so it's a stand-up comedy solo where you talk about your 4 divorces.
Yeah, it's a guy that is thinking in divorcing again, and this time he does like a reflection, and he gets to the conclusion that he's been big part of the problem. So he has a little humor, though. Yeah, a lot of humor, and a lot of tender moments, and bitter moments, and some teardrops. But
do you think your sense of humor has helped you with
a lot
of this besides the spiritual path?
A lot. You know what? My sense of humor is really something, I'm trying to find the word, something unlimited. And when I say unlimited, I don't want to say, oh, he's so great. No, unlimited because I don't stop anywhere, even if the victim is me. You see?
If he victimizes you.
Yeah.
Oh, got it.
Because, for example, I will also remember I was with a comadre, I say,
a good friend.
The godmother of my son. And I was telling her at that time, another divorce, that I was thinking in divorcing. Mm-hmm. And I began to cry in the car. And when I was crying, the line that came to my mind, he looks almost the same. You know what you say when you have someone dead? You say, quedó igualito. So he looks almost, when I say he looks almost the same, he said, what are you saying? And I began to laugh. Because that's a salvation tool. Humor is salvation tool. When you can see the humor in any situation, you are almost there.
But what I like about the story is that you said I cried. So you feel your feelings. You don't avoid the feelings. You take it when you're down.
Yeah.
You take it for what it. But you don't stay there.
I have a friend that says that he's so sensitive that he cries watching Flipper.
I know. I think I've seen you cry.
And there is another guy that said that he's so romantic that he watches pornos till the end to see the guys get married.
Yes. Yeah, I know. I remember when we met. His sense of humor, sometimes it's very dirty, but because I ended up growing up here, I've been here 30 years. I didn't understand a lot of the jokes.
You were not used to the Venezuelan
humor and lingo and porn or dirty stuff. But it was very. He would have so much fun just watching me not get the jokes.
Not getting what?
But I like how you translate it into a different language and do the same with humor in any language.
Oh, sure. Because at the end you discover that it's the same thing. You know? And when you watch a lot of comedians here, stand-up comedians, you see, people is really smart here. Because to understand some of the things they do, some of the intentions, those comedians that I love, that they don't say the thing, they just present it to you and they just stop. And in that pause, in that silence, you read the joke and you really,
burst.
Laugh.
Yeah,
to
bursting
cry.
to laugh.
And
who do you watch? Who do you like?
I like many of the guys. Of course, the big ones like my wife gave me a present. We were living in
Texas
last December. No. 1 year ago, I was living in California when she came to the United States, and now with definitely to get married and all that, and she invited me to watch Jay Leno. I couldn't believe
wow.
it. He's so funny.
I always called you the Jay Leno of South America, so I like that. He
was so funny. He's funnier than on TV.
He's way funnier on TV.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah.
And, of course, Dave Letterman, of course, many other guys.
His stand-up is brilliant, and I know that Jay Leno he's done a lot of charity work here in Florida.
I know.
And he brings his collection of cards, and
no.
He's an incredible guy.
And he was almost coming out of an accident, that he had an accident with the
recently
with the gas on his car. The flame came to his face.
Very lucky.
And
he was very lucky.
He said there, I know you have read that I had this accident, and I felt really scary because gas is so expensive now.
So he made a joke out of it.
Of course.
He used humor out of it.
He said that the gas was so expensive that he didn't know what I was thinking. What was I thinking, spending so much gas?
So where is Orlando now?
Orlando now is here.
In my podcast.
In your podcast, having fun in this area of the city. Because that's the way to be. That's the way to enjoy. I'm here. I am, as I told you, I'm beginning to write this thing.
This book. Autobiography or?
No, not autobiography. But I need to say some things about that because they have played so many people have played so much with that event, which is a very, very important event. Because at the end, even if we didn't have him for more than 24 hours, not even 24 hours.
What event?
When we catch Chavez and we put him...
Oh, what happens in the political realm.
The coup d'etat was there, and we did it. And that's the only thing in the history of that crook that someone did to him in the whole history of his life. The only time we did something to him was that. So they have to respect that event. So they write so many garbage about that. So I'm trying to settle down the real story, or what I think is the real story.
You want to set the record straight.
Definitely. And I'm painting, and I am using now this technique that I call garabats, which is dribble.
Garabatos, yes, like dribbling,
like
yes.
dribbling, and I do dribbling with the things, the paints, and it's working for me.
And you're in a couple of galleries.
Oh, sure. I am at the White's Art Gallery, and I'm going to visit another group next week that they invited me to be there, and they do not just art but performances, and they have a circle, which is where I began in Venezuela. The drawing circle, there was a place that the museum was closed on Mondays. So the director, Sofia Inberg, would open the museum just for us. So we would go there, they invited me, and I was with all these important people that I couldn't believe they would accept me there. And they would bring from the dance company dancers, and they would pose naked for us, 2 guys, 2 girls, 1 guy and a girl, and we draw them all the morning.
So you've always done art?
Not always. After my...
when was this?
My 25-year-old was going was
Born?
I say, Bernie. I said, no, Bernie. Come on. So I decided, when she was still in the belly, I decided that I was going to paint her room, 1 wall, and I was going to paint something there. Nobody told me. They would say, well, you better use black, you better use so, but they were really scary about what I was going to do there. And it came out such a beautiful thing. It was a red horse. And she was red with the green, the hair was blonde, and she had dance shoes.
Oh.
And it was okay.
And now you're doing it again because do you think you come back to art for a reason? Is there a passion? Is there a journey that you go through with art? Why are you doing it again?
It's the same thing. You are in the place, you are there, and you let the
energy
express. Sure, because now that I do this, I tell my friends, and they say, "But you always painted. You don't remember?" No, you did it. You gave me things that you did. At high school, when I studied in high school, I was doing it, and I didn't know. I don't remember. I was doing the radio show, with a very important plastic artist, Zapata, Pedro Leon. And when I began to do these things, I was really scary about telling him that I was painting, because it looked to me like a disrespectful.
He will judge you, yeah.
Of course. But I had to say, because he was going to the circle of drawings the next week, and I was going to be there. And finally, I ended up saying, listen, I want to tell you this. I'm painting now. So, yes.
To Zapata.
To Zapata. Yes.
Wow. What did he say?
You know? Yes, I know.
Oh, he knew.
How do you know? Because I see you doing it. You don't see every day you do this when we were doing the show.
Oh, because you were dribbling.
Yeah, when I show you threw him out, I almost say, why? Why did you throw him out? Because I didn't understand why would you throw them out? Because I didn't know what I was doing. But it's like a subconscious thing.
Do you think? Do you have a favorite form of expression now? Does art fill you more than doing a stand-up or theater? What is it today, after everything that you've been through and everything that you had to endure through your spirituality and your sense of humor? What makes you happier today?
I always,
as an expression.
I always say that the only word in many languages to call acting is playing. You play the role of Romeo, you play the role of Dr. Z. So when I paint, I play. When I act, I play. When I do stand-up, I play. So that's the way. So in my house, now we live in a very small house, but it's the same thing. I have everything together.
You're back in Florida now.
Yeah, yeah. I have the iPad, and where I can draw too. I have the crayons. I have the pencils. I have the paintings. I have the papers. So if I feel like writing, if I feel like taping myself saying something, because that's the way to play, and that's what I enjoy now. And
keep playing
all the time. I had a professor the first day that I went to Lee Strasberg. She called me and she said, "You are Urdaneta?" I say, "Yes." So my people here in the office, Anna and Vicky, the director, told me that you are very famous in your country. Yes. But you have done movies, theater.
South America in general.
Soap opera. I say, yes.
Yeah.
So you know what Lee would do with someone like you? He would send you back home. Say, why? Because what are you doing here? People come here to learn how to act, to become famous.
But you're already famous.
But what are you doing here? I said, no, I want to do this.
So that's another thing that you do. You keep on learning.
And then she said, okay, what you know, you're not going to forget it.
Okay.
But I want you to stop using it for good until I put you inside the technique that I'm going to teach you.
The acting technique.
If I see you doing what you know while my classes, I'm going to stop you. And she knew when I was,
Orlando.
And she said, but if you listen to me, if you learn what I want to teach you, after you learn what I'm going to teach you, and you put together what you brought, no one would be happier than you on a stage. No one. And it's such a fun moment for me to be on a stage. Of course I'm nervous. The lines, the movements, if I'm going to remember, if I'm going to change on time, that's another thing. But going on a stage and, saying my lines, doing what I do, no one is happier than me. I enjoy it so much.
I'm glad you say that, because I think that's, when I have worked with you, I think that's the happiest I've ever seen you, was see you divorciarme yo.
Oh, yeah.
And I saw you on stage, and you were just a beam of light on stage by yourself.
Oh, yeah.
And it was so obvious.
I love it.
It was so obvious.
Even when you do drama, that you have to feel, bitter things, or you have to cry, or you have to do. When you get it there, when you get the moment, when you feel the tears, when you feel the audience
feedback, the reaction, yes.
Wow, you say, yes.
It's delicious.
Yes. It's great. It's great.
Yeah, I remember even coming off of stage, you were in such a yummy high cloud. Like you didn't want to get down for hours. It was and still making jokes and.
Oh, sure. Because you fly. So it's like, when you come down, you don't come down and you change. No. It's a process to settle down and.
I had a hard time with that, explaining that to other people that have not been on stage or on interviews, or I had the opportunity to I don't do acting, I do a lot of interviews in my life. And when you are in the middle of an event or in the middle of a play and you come off stage, I didn't realize it until then, but you're not necessarily the same person for a few hours.
Sure.
What do you call that? Is it adrenaline? Is it a high?
It's adrenaline. It's a natural high state of mind. Natural, but it's a state of mind. And sometimes, for example, my wife said, "You're talking too loud." Because you are at the restaurant and you are like this because you are still there. And I feel very bad for actors and comedians or even any performer when people go backstage to say hi after the show.
I don't know how they do that because you're not you.
Not yet.
It's an out-of-body experience. I don't remember anything.
You know what's worse? People that comes to the dressing room before the play.
No.
I hate that. I hate that.
Do you want to be?
Oh, sure. Well, I try not to see anybody because you just want to see who you want to see. There's no problem with the people you want to see. Your wife, your secretary, whatever, your driver, it doesn't matter. But these people that say, I came to wish you. What are you wishing me here? What are you doing here?
It's not the moment.
Because they came from the street with their clothes and their perfume. You don't want that. The only perfume and clothes you want to feel is yours, your character's wardrobe. So it's very delicate.
And like you were saying, you want to become that present moment so that you can relax.
Yeah. I don't do anything weird, but I want to be quiet.
Okay.
I want to be quiet.
Yeah.
If there is a joke, it's my joke. Nobody can talk to me.
Yeah.
And because that's the way you are there preparing to go out. When we are together.
You listen to music?
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I do. Or the music from the theater. For example, at the Colony Theater, we had the music that sometimes was really yeah, because you have to listen because it was there.
Oh, got it.
In the sound of the theater.
Yeah.
But what I do is, if we are together, actors, we're sharing a dressing room, or we are outside, because you can have a dressing room for you, and one for you, one for me. At the end, we're all together somewhere because we need to talk and share and joke. So we're all the time joking all the time. And
it helps you relax.
Of course.
It helps me relax.
Of course.
So, obviously, I'm so happy that you're here. This is a dream come true.
Oh, thank you.
I thought about this moment so many times. I have a few questions before I let you go that are very important to my audience and to me. Let me ask you this: if I were to say you can go anywhere in the world to be inspired today, where would you go and why?
Well, it's a very old dream. I want to go to Tibet. I love to go to Tibet. Of course, the Indian Tibet, which is the one you can visit now, because, they were expelled from China and they took their Tibet, their territory, which is a very old fight that His Holiness the Dalai Lama is leading. But Tibet would be something that I would love to go, some place that I would love to go. And because that would be really, really inspiring, I'm pretty sure.
It would be very special,
definitely,
I'm sure.
Definitely.
If I was going to make a movie about your life, what would be the title of the movie today?
I have a friend that is a young Venezuelan director. He's putting together a documentary about me, and he has a very wonderful moments with me that we taped down in LA, in English, by the way. And he, collected a lot of things. My movies.
Some archives. I want to get a hold of him.
And he went to me by chance. I was opening a play that I wrote called My Good Memories. And when I was at the theater, a friend of mine came and said, listen, I invited this young guy. He's Venezuelan. He admires you a lot. And he cannot believe that he's going to meet you here. Oh. And he wants to do something about you. What? Yeah, he wants to do like a documentary. Well, let's see. I don't have a problem with that. But, it's a very weird thing when you get to that age where someone want to do something
You're
about
a legend.
You.
What is it? What's the name? What's the title of the document? Orlando.
He took it like, he used my word. He said, the name is Plain Orlando Urdaneta.
Plain Orlando Urdaneta. Oh, I like that.
Yeah. He took it from what I said about playing. And he was there, and he brought the camera. And he said, do you mind if I tape here? No, it's okay. And he taped the thing, but of course, the place was so packed that he was in a corner, and he just could take when I was in front of him or close.
Very tight.
Yeah. And the beautiful thing is that play that I wrote is about an old actor that is behind the curtains waiting to receive his achievement award. And while they were preparing the audience to give his achievement award, they were showing parts of his life. His first shows, his first soap operas, his first movies, videos from his plays, and he's there in the back. But while that's happening, what the audience are listening is to this monologue of this guy that is telling the real story of his life. And he says that in his house they would, throw off everything that he used to write or draw. So he discovered that the tuxedo never would go to the dry cleaning. So his tuxedo was the archive of his memories. That's why he's there wearing the tuxedo and bringing out and said, I remember, the character would say, I remember that there is this guy that he's invited to a dinner. And he didn't have the proper suit for a etiquette dinner.
Okay.
And he brought the suit from a magician. And in the middle of the dinner, they came out from his pocket rabbits and colored handkerchief and everything. So maybe this night you will see here the colored handkerchief and the rabbits of my past and the pigeon of my past. So, and that's all the play. And it has a very, very, I'm not going to say.
No, don't spoil it for
because
us.
It's really very interesting ending.
Tell me, before we go, what would be then Orlando Urdaneta's advice for the audience of inspiration through all your trials and tribulations? What is the one advice? Short and sweet. What is an advice for somebody that's going through a really hard time or somebody that feels that they're just struggling enough where they need an inspiration from you? What would that be?
The only thing we can control, and not completely, but we can control, is breathing.
Breathing.
Yeah, you cannot say your heart, stop walking now. You cannot say your blood, stop running, nothing. The only thing you can stop a little bit and block it and take care of it is breathing. And breathing is the most important part of life. Why? Because the first thing we do when we are born is to breathe. Because when you are born, there is because you're breathing. When breath comes to you, you begin life. And the last thing that leaves you when you go is breathing. When you stop breathing, you die. So breathing is the only connection with the universe, with the energy, with everything there is around. You can call it spirit, you can call it God, you can call it Buddha, you can call it whatever you want to call it. But the connection is only through your breathing.
My yoga master always says, nobody can steal your breath.
Nobody.
Yeah.
And that's the connection with your mind and the connection with your body and the connection with everything. So when you're...
And it brings you to the present moment.
Definitely.
I think that's why.
When you have a tribulation, you just grab a chair, or if you're in the office, nobody's going to see you in the bathroom. You lock into the bathroom, you sit there, you sit, straight but comfortable. You put your hands here, you close your eyes, and you breathe through the nose. Slowly, 5 seconds to get in. You block it for almost 1 second, 5 seconds to go out. You block it 1 second, 5 seconds. You do that. You can do it 3 minutes, excellent. You can do it 10 minutes, beautiful. You can just do 3 breathing, you do 3 breathings, but it's going to help you.
Okay. That would be my advice. Keep breathing.
Definitely.
And staying in the present moment.
That's the only way to stay in the present moment, because when you breathe, you just think you're breathing. You don't think you fought with your boss or you had a problem with your couple. No. Coming in and coming out from my nose. That's it.
Well, while we close on the breathing exercise, I love having you here.
Thank you.
Thank you again. You are always a good friend, but also an inspiration because of everything you've been through.
Thank you, my love.
And I'm so glad that you're here, and I hope to see you again and again and again since you're in Florida.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here with us in another episode of Open with Alex. If you like what you see, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so that you can be aware of our upcoming guests and new episodes. See you next time in my next Open with Alex.